Need a half-inch breaker bar, a short 17mm socket, 14, a 12. I would also get a 14mm wrench, a 10mm wrench, or like one that's specific for brake lines. 3/8 helps if it has a swivel on it to get to the differential bolts. I would highly recommend getting something to loosen bolts. I just got this at Home Depot. Liquid wrench, penetrating oil basically. 2 quarts of gear oil. I just went to AutoZone and they just gave me this 7W90. You can use whatever you want, read the forms, whatever you want. This is what I just got. I plan on changing it pretty soon anyways. It's not like this thing makes like 500 horsepower or anything like that. So should be fine. I also got 2 of these oil pans, whatever those are called. So I put one under the diff while I was draining it, and then when I was pulling out the axles, I didn't realize that oil was gonna come out, or lube, or whatever it is. But a good amount came out. I did not know that, but it did come out. So having 2 helps, or just put like napkins or plastic bag under both sides when you pop the axles out. So it is out right now. I'm just gonna give you basic how-to on how I did it. So I'm just gonna basically explain it like you've never done this before. I have never done this before, so I'm just gonna give you a basic how-to. So I'm gonna jack it up. I jacked it up by the actual real differential. I put jack stands under there. I covered the front with something to stop it from moving. So I got bricks on the front. So you do that. Then you're gonna want to take your liquid wrench or your penetrating oil, and so you're gonna want to put it right here. This is where you're gonna fill up the diff. It's gonna be the half-inch socket, half-inch ratchet, whatever. I forgot the hell name. And then another one. This is where you're gonna be draining it from. So I would put the liquid wrench on this and this, and then you're gonna have 4 bolts for the axle. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These aren't really that hard to get off, to be completely honest. That's not really the hard part, really. These were a big pain for me. I had to put in the socket and like hammer these in, like hit them, because I guess once you hit them, they get a little looser. If you get like stuck wheel bolts or nuts, that helps. When you just whack them. From there, you're gonna have 10 nuts. So they're gonna be right there. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It goes around the rear differential. You can have some up here. Hopefully yours actually stay on. Mine did not. I mean, most of them came off on the actual, just the nuts themselves, but some of them came off like this, so it actually pulled apart the whole thing. Every single one of these, including those at 14mm, for the axle, have what's it called, lock washers. So all of them have it. So be sure not to lose those. But yeah, see, this is one for the axle. So it'll be like this. 14mm on both sides, and the lock washer. 4 of those, 10 of these. So put liquid penetrating oil and all that. Once you do that, you will have like a sensor. What do I have here? Oh wait, it's gonna be this. I mean, this sensor. I don't know what it's for, but you can have that. I just cut it off on the actual diff. Let me show you. It's gonna be right here. I actually just cut this off to get this to move off, so I couldn't move that. So from there, you're gonna have the 10 bolts. 1, 2, 3, basically 10 all the way around. So you're gonna take those off, and then you're gonna get to the actual brakes. Drum brake cover, I guess this is what it's called. I think this was called. So you're gonna have to take this off. This wasn't too hard, so it's gonna be on here. You're gonna use 2 bolts, M8 by 125, I believe. is the thread pitch to get in here. Put some WD-40 and put these in. These aren't actually even that long. They don't need to be that long. So that's like not even an inch, or maybe an inch tops. So you're gonna have to put, basically put these in. You're gonna put these in one at a time. So you're gonna do tighten one and the other and the other. And you actually hear it like pop when it gets off of here. You hear like a loud pop. And then you're just gonna take this off, put it to the side. So once you get that off, you're gonna have 4 17mm nuts right here. So it'll be on this side. And this is where you have your short 17mm socket for. Because if it's too long, it'll hit this. So I just use this small little short 17 to get it through here. These weren't too hard, but I also used penetrating oil to do that. So once you do that, you're gonna have to get this 10mm brake line off. So you could, I just use a regular wrench. That's what I used. That's all I have. Or if you have like the ones that's special for these brake lines, that'd be good. But yeah, you loosen it. You can do that for the other side, and that's when you get your second oil pan down here, and you're gonna pull on it. It is gonna be a little difficult, not too hard, but you should be able to get it done. But yeah, then from there, you're gonna have to pull it and pull it apart. It's about let's say maybe like 4 inches off, maybe 5 inches off. But when you finally get it like pulled out of the differential, you'll hear it make like a little clunking sound. So when you try to pull out the diff and it's not able to get out, or it's like leaning to one side, it's because you didn't pull the axles out far enough. So it might give you like a little bit of resistance, almost like it shouldn't get pulled out any more than it has. But you just gotta pull on this. So once you do that to both sides. You pull out the differential, get like a flathead or something between here, and pry it off if it's stuck. And then from there, yeah, just pull it off. This is a little heavy. I think it's about a good 30 pounds. So if you got like little chicken arms like me, I just straight up just let it drop on that. How can I say, soften the fall pretty good. So just be careful, because it is pretty heavy. So be careful with that. Pull it out, and then just empty it out. Or I mean, I got mine welded, so I used the non-chlorinated brake fluid and a torch to heat it up, and then I just got it welded at the muffler shop. And then from there, you're just gonna wanna put RTV all along here, put it back, fill it up from the top of the fill hole, and you should be good. That's pretty much it. It's not too hard. The hardest thing for me was taking those the drain and the fill plugs from the diff out. They were really hard for me. It looks like no one had ever replaced the differential oil on this, because a lot didn't even come out. So be wary of that. It looks like like this has never been taken apart. It looks like for me personally. So hopefully it'll be easier for you than it was for me. Just put a lot of penetrating oil on everything. Have a lot of napkins, because I mean, these are old cars, so there might be a bunch of crap under here. Mine wasn't too bad, but everything was really hard to take off, because it looks like nothing has ever been taken off back here. So I mean, put it back on to me, basically the reverse of all this. All right, so we're finally done with this. A lot of things didn't go right. First off, what I would definitely do different is put the gasket maker on the part of the diff that's inside the truck. I wouldn't put it on the part that we had welded, because it's gonna be hard to grab onto the diff and try to push it up, and that's pretty much where I could grab it. So I would do that. I would do that differently. Second mistake I made was barely had the jacks to like the lowest, basically to like right there, the lowest spot you could be, and it was impossible to put the differential on my shoulder and push it up, because I wouldn't be able to slide under there with it on my shoulder, and it just wasn't enough room. So there's that one thing. The second big mistake I made was I didn't have the jacks this far apart originally. They were like right here and right there, so I couldn't really like squeeze in through because I had like my shoulders out a little bit more while I was carrying the diff. That was a big mistake I made. These were a pain to put on. So what I meant by these were a pain, I was talking about the brake lines. These brake lines are really hard to connect. I don't know if it's because they're rusty or corroded maybe a little bit, but they were really, really hard to put back on. It took me 45 minutes to put the driver's side on. I recommend getting a line wrench because I'm working on the other brake lines in the front, and I pretty much stripped two, and I'm making new hard lines for them. So get a 10mm brake line fitting. Brake line wrench. They're only like $10, and it's like double-sided for 10 and 12mm at AutoZone. So get that, because I don't know, these are just, I don't know, maybe I just got bad ones, but they're hard to put on and take off. So there's that. I also didn't put in the diff incorrectly. I put it in like a little crooked, so when you put the diff in before you tighten all the bolts, just like try spinning it. If it's stuck, then that means you didn't put it in right. So I guess I had like one bolt off. But yeah, that's what it should look like when it's on correctly. That should be on the side. So that's what it should look like when you're down here. So this should be like facing you, this little ridge. And I see this net sensor should be up there. I guess when I had it, it was like right here at this angle. So there's that. And install the drive shaft, not too hard. You're gonna put in the bolt through here, and then that goes on this side. Basically holds it in place. And then bleed the brake lines. And to do that, you're gonna need help. You're gonna have somebody else push on the brake. So the way I do it is just press on it 3 times. So I'll just do like 1, 2, 3, and I'll throw and push all the way down. Release this fitting, this bleeder valve right here with the 10mm line wrench. And you're gonna do that for basically you're gonna have to do that for all the brakes again. So you start from the one farthest away from the master cylinder. You're gonna do this one, then this one, then that one, and then the front driver's side. That's how you do it. That's the correct way to bleed it. So you bleed it until no more bubbles come out, or until the liquid starts coming out clean. So I mean, hopefully you learn from my mistakes. Hopefully it doesn't take you as long as it took me. And that's pretty much it. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you want to follow the build progress, subscribe for more. I really appreciate it. This is my first time ever removing diffs. Please keep negative comments to yourself. I mean, I really don't care if you talk shit. I mean, I'm just fucking around. So like, comment, subscribe.